So good morning, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to be here today. Um, we're welcome to the Ed Quality Team Office Hour. Today we have invited Emily Loita here to join us to provide you with information about evidence-based practices. We're going to talk about the purpose of how to use evidence-based practices, along with sharing resources and answer any of your questions you may have. So Josh, take it away. You're next.
I'm gonna start to provide you a brief overview of evidence-based practices. Um, so evidence-based practices, or what you'll commonly see referred to as EBPs, are the use of research and data to guide decisions to improve our outcomes. Uh, in case of today, the use of evidence-based programs and practices is to improve student learning outcomes and well-being. At the heart of evidence-based practices, it's the idea that good decision making is achieved through critical appraisal of the best available evidence from multiple resources. When we say evidence, we mean information, facts, or data supporting, or in some cases contradicting, a claim, assumption, or a hypothesis. The benefits of evidence-based practices improve outcomes, inform decisions, and high quality services. So EBPs help ensure that services meet the needs of students. Recall the Vermont model for improvement that we often refer to on this slide. The third question that you see in this graphic, what change or changes can we make that will result in improvement? This relates directly to the selection of evidence-based change ideas based on your previous data analysis, root cause analysis, and goals that you've established. So your change ideas will come from examining the research and evidence base, and then finding the practices, processes, and programs that you've demonstrated or that have demonstrated positive impacts on similar specific outcomes and student populations that you are hoping to impact with your goals. You'll select evidence-based change ideas and/or practices based on the needs you uncover during your data analysis. In order to achieve integrity of implementation, you must describe the practice, program, or process with enough detail to ensure that everyone understands the what, how, where, when, and why factors of implementation. You'll also consider the human, fiscal, and other necessary resources needed to ensure fidelity and integrity of implementation. So the Every Student Succeeds Act, often referred to as ESSA, contains provisions related to specific types of evidence from research that one should consider when assessing the potential efficacy of a change idea. For example, we'll take schools identified for equity support and improvement. If you're in equity 2 or 3 status, also referred to as targeted support for improvement, or TSI, or additional targeted support and improvement, ATSI, you must include interventions or practices that are evidence-based and according to the 4 ESSA levels of evidence that you see on this slide. Here are some links to. Oh, this one has Lori talking. Can everybody hear that?
Oh, nobody wants that.
Now I'll talk. So here are the links to a collection of resources that provide detailed explanation of the levels of evidence, how to understand the research evidence, and where to locate specific evidence-based practices you can implement to address your identified needs. I am now going to turn it over to Emily, who will continue to walk us through some of these resources and provide us with some more information directly related to literacy. Emily.
Thank you. I just misplaced my notes trying to get them on the screen for myself, the shared screens. There we go. I'm Emily Loita.
Please upload a copy of your fishbone or 5 ways diagram. I don't think I have that.
Um,
Everybody, if everybody could mute their mics, that would be great. Thank you.
So, hi, I'm Emily Loita. I'm the English Language Arts and Literacy Specialist. And so I am going to talk to you a bit about evidence-based literacy resources. I have a section on the AOE English Language Arts and Literacy webpage called Evidence-Based Literacy Practices, and that's the first link that you'll see on this slide deck. You'll be able to go there when you receive the slide deck. When asked about evidence-based practices, my first step is usually to go to the IES or What Works Clearinghouse practice guides that Josh was showing before. And there's an example there of the foundational skills to support reading for understanding in kindergarten through third grade. On my webpage, I've created documents that break down each recommendation for 3 of the most helpful practice guides that are related to early literacy. And so on the next slide, I will walk through what that looks like. So each breakdown document is named after the recommendation. In this case, the recommendation is to teach students to decode words, analyze word parts, and write and recognize words. This is from that practice guide that was linked to the previous slide, the foundational skills to support reading for understanding in kindergarten through third grade. You'll see that this recommendation has tier 1 strong evidence. And so that's noted on the document. And then also on the document is the suggestions from the practice guide of how to carry out that recommendation. So you'll see that the first suggestion there is to teach students to blend letter sounds and sound spelling patterns from left to right within a word to produce a recognizable pronunciation. Following each suggestion is the page numbers that you will that you can use to get to the spot in the practice guide where they provide more information about the suggestions, recommendations, and then also some classroom examples. And then finally, the last thing on each of these breakdown documents is a crosswalk of connections between the recommendations and Michigan's literacy essentials, which I will be explaining on the next slide. A few years ago, the AOE's Early Learning Networked Improvement Community for Literacy worked with Dr. Nell Duke, and we used these literacy essentials to inform our change ideas. Dr. Duke was instrumental in creating the literacy essentials and all the documents that are linked in this slide. So the first link there takes you right to that Essential Practices homepage, and there's a lot of stuff you can find from there. I've also linked to the classroom level practices directly, and they've got, they've got birth to age 3, pre-K, 3, 5, 4, 3, K3, 4, 5, and 6, 12 levels in the grades. And then they also have systems level recommendations. So these are all really great documents. There are also some videos and modules that walk through specifically the pre-K and grades K3 practice guides. I'm not sure about the other ones, but I know that those 2 have accompanying modules with videos and much more information. So really, really great resource if you have a time to check those out. Next slide, thank you. I don't have a recommendation breakdown document for this practice guide yet, but I did want to point out that this is a really valuable resource for supporting adolescent literacy. It's providing reading interventions for students in grades 4 through 9. It can be used, all through the secondary level as well. And it's also an excellent resource for tier 1 instruction, not just, tier 2. And then finally, I'd like to tell you about some professional learning opportunities that are offered through Read Vermont. Read Vermont is a comprehensive initiative dedicated to improving literacy outcomes for all Vermont students so that they may experience the joy and utility of reading. We are offering a facilitated virtual workshop series for all educators and administrators related to the implementation of evidence-based instructional practices to improve literacy outcomes. These workshops are offered on the second Wednesday of the month, and they take place from 3:30 to 5:30. And they are live workshops, but they are also recorded. And if you join the Google Classroom for the series, you get access to all of the recordings of the sessions, even the ones that have already happened, and then a whole bunch of helpful resources that are described during the sessions. And then there's that network of educators that can engage in conversation on the Google Classroom as well. So lots of great resources there. And that is it for me.
Great, thank you, Emily. Do we have any questions from anybody, any participants today? I do not see any in the chat, but it's a small group, so feel free to type your questions into the chat or unmute yourself if you'd like. We will be sending out these slides after the meeting, so everybody will have access to all the wonderful links that are in the slide packet. Let's see here. Do not see any questions coming in through the chat.
And I also do want to invite folks to reach out directly. I saw that my email address is at the end of the slide deck. So please, if you have questions, feel free to reach out directly. And Lori put something great in the chat there. The greatest challenges people are experiencing with evidence-based practices. That's a really good question.
Anybody want to share maybe some of their challenges that you're experiencing with evidence-based practices? So like Lori said, we'll be following up with another office hour on evidence-based practices related to social emotional learning and math, most likely in April or May. So definitely coming to you this spring. All right, it seems like we have no questions and nobody unmuting, so I guess that will conclude today's office hour. Thanks all for attending, and we will send out those slides to you today or tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you.